Why have I been a long-term supporter of Peace One Day? Well, it's very simple, really. It's because the organization known as Peace One Day, the non-profit organization, which marks Peace Day every year for the past almost 25 years, is doing a very noble thing, I believe. I believe it's important to draw people's attention to the fact that there is an International Day of Peace, a United Nations International Day of Peace, Peace Day, where member states of the United Nations, all 193 of them, stand up and commit to peace. Because peace is the backbone of development. And I'll get to that in a minute. That's why I support Peace Day. I think the CEO and founder, Jeremy Gilley, and his team work very, very hard to promote the values and the dividends of peace and what peace means. Because peace is not just the absence of war. Peace is the presence of justice, respect for human rights. And that leads to development, sustainability. That's why I support Peace One Day. Peace Day means to me that I stand up and I ask myself, what will I do today to make peace? To make peace with myself, to make peace with my family, to make peace with my neighbors, my community, and eventually try to contribute to building peace in my society and the world at large. That's what Peace Day means to me. It means thinking of peace all day, celebrating peace all day, celebrating peaceful relations between humans, and between humans and Mother Nature, and between humans and animals, celebrating peace and peaceful coexistence. Well, there are many instances when I find peace. I find peace in a beautiful piece of music. I find peace at the beach. I find the sound of the waves very soothing. I find peace when I hear the laughter of children in playgrounds. There are so many moments where I find peace, but they are few and far between these days. I believe everybody has a role to creating a more peaceful world. They say that war is made in the minds of men. Peace is also made in the minds of men and women, of course. We have to strive for peace. Each and every individual can contribute towards peace in their community. Whether it's doing their job properly, whether it's being honest and not corrupt, whether it's standing up for principles like the respect for human rights, respect for rule of law, respect for diversity. Every person should read the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a marvelous document that's 75 years old and still relevant in our day, in our world today. Everyone has a role to play. The piece I'm going to read today is very special. It's called Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. I chose it because, first of all, Maya Angelou is an icon of freedom, the civil rights movement, and of course a great author and poet. She herself suffered, as a girl, cruelty and abuse, so much so that she stopped speaking altogether. She ultimately found her voice in her works, in her writings, in her poetry, and in her struggle during the civil rights movement. She died in 2014, but she left a wealth of literature and history. She was awarded many accolades, Maya Angelou. She died at the age of 86, having lived a very rich life. She inspired countless people with her wisdom and her grace. And she held on to her humanity despite the struggle and never gave up her compassion and ability to love. That's the author, Maya Angelou. Died at the age of 86 in 2014. Now, the poem is about two birds. A free bird, free to fly and claim the sky, and a caged bird. A caged bird who cannot break through the bars of its rage. And the juxtaposition of these two is really striking. And it is said that it represents the black movement in America during the civil rights movement. The free and the not free, the slave, the imprisoned. That's why I chose it, because freedom means a lot. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion. It's what we are all about. Human beings need to be free, need to be diverse, and are diverse, and we should respect diversity in our societies. Freedom. The poem is about the juxtaposition between the free and the enslaved. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.